Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of the CCW podcast. My name is Kathy, and I'm here today with the Executive Director, Vivian Havlin. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Today, we're going to talk about what's new with CCW. What's going on?
Absolutely. So, first of all, I know we recorded a podcast early on about what CCW was, what Citizens Crime Watch was.
Right.
But just to touch briefly on what it is, we are a nonprofit organization. We are celebrating our 47th year.
Yes.
Yes, we were established in 1975, I believe. Our funding comes from the Board of County Commissioners, and we also get funding through the Miami-Dade School Police. They give us some funding also to teach in the schools, but we go over that a little bit later. Mainly what we do is that we do the neighborhood watch program in the neighborhoods.
Right.
And so how that works is like a neighbor calls us because they have a concern in the area. Sometimes they just want to be a little proactive and nothing has really gone on and they just want to go ahead and establish a neighborhood watch. It could work either way. We fill out requests for service. We coordinate our meetings with an officer, either a Miami-Dade police officer, if it's within Miami-Dade. But we also do meetings at the different municipalities. And so we also coordinate with the officers for the different municipalities.
If I remember correctly, so there is a difference. This process is the same. This part of the process is the same for a crime prevention and a crime watch meeting.
Yes, so the process is the same. The difference between a crime prevention meeting and a neighborhood watch meeting is that we try to do crime prevention is normally in apartment renters. Just because sometimes you have people that have been there for 20 years, but normally they sign a lease for a year and that person might moved away. And so it becomes a little bit more difficult to upkeep what we call the phone chain, which is what makes the program a little bit more effective. And also we go into different senior living facilities and we do a crime prevention for them. We cover different frauds that they might be exposed to and so forth. So that's the difference. For the neighborhood watch meeting, like I mentioned before, we coordinate with a police officer and we show up to a meeting that we set. It's either Monday through Thursday, sometimes Friday, up to the residents. We normally try to be there at 7 p.m. just to give somebody a little time to get home from all that traffic and maybe wind down a little bit before they go out. We hold the meetings at someone's home if they feel comfortable with, or in the driveway. We try to do it somewhere within the neighborhood itself. However, something new that we started doing is that if there's current issues that are alarming and concerning for the residents and they want to move the meeting to a different location for safety measures, we could hold it at a clubhouse, we could hold it at a church, we could go ahead and hold it outside the neighborhood, because sometimes they have a problem house and they don't want to be seen talking to the police and stuff like that. So we have gone ahead and make certain exceptions to make it more suitable for our crime watchers themselves. At that meeting, the police officer goes over the different crime statistics for the area. They normally try to cover at least 3 months, because that will give the residents a better understanding as to what's going on in their area. And myself or our coordinators, I also do crime watch meetings. We then go over what can we do to prevent that from happening. Right? That's where the whole crime prevention comes into place. And if we decide to move forward and if we decide to become an official crime watch group, what are the benefits of that? So we told them all about the phone chain, which they just exchange contact information. We know it's a new era, so we encourage that if it works for them to do WhatsApp or emails and it's things like that, that all that is welcome. It's whatever works for them to make it less work. We need it to be a lot more efficient.
Yeah, and I know one of the benefits of having a Crime Watch phone chain has been that people have been able to put if they have any specific medical needs or if like they're on medication. I remember that of an instance that was mentioned to me that a phone chain was activated after a hurricane because one of the elderly
During
neighbors,
Irma.
yeah,
Yes.
one of the elderly neighbors needed to keep their medication iced, so they were able to activate that phone chain. And officers were able to deliver ice to keep their medication cold. So there are a lot of benefits to having phone chains.
Yeah, I remember that specific case, and it was with Kendall District. Our officers are wonderful, but yes, it's up to them, right? Because after all, it's medical information. So
Yes.
if they feel comfortable because they have needs that they want to go ahead and disclose to for the neighbors to be able to help and facilitate, sure, absolutely, they could go ahead and put that. And yes, I remember that it was during Irma, and it was very heartwarming that the amount of like help that that resident received. Furthermore, if I'm going on vacation, you want to go ahead and let your neighbor know, hey, listen, keep an eye out, like please take care of my mail, and different things like that. So we go over all the different benefits of like becoming an actual like group itself. After that phone chain is in place, we go out with our yellow signs for a second meeting. I'm sure people have seen it. It's a big bright yellow sign that says this area is protected by Citizens Crime Watch, and it's effective because it serves as a deterrent.
Yeah.
Right. If a criminal sees that, if the criminal sees the word crime watch, it means that that group is like organized, and they might go ahead and target the next block over. That's what makes this program so like effective, and the fact that they could activate the phone chain, keep each other in touch and alert, have that direct communication with law enforcement. And so that's a lot of the benefits within having a crime watch meeting. So that's our bread and butter. 100%. Right? That's what we mainly do.
Right. I know we went over briefly that one of the things that we've done to expand the program has been that we are a little more flexible when it comes to location. Anything else that we've done?
Yes. So before we used to require, I believe it was a while ago, we used to require 40% participation of your block.
Right.
That was becoming a little bit difficult. We lowered to 30%. So we're trying to hear what our residents are saying. Right? And then we're trying to see from our end what changes can we make to our program to make it easier for our residents to be able to do this and to keep each other safe.
Most definitely. I know that we're also expanding our resources ourselves, that we've been making more connections. We're trying to put out as much information as we can with different things.
Yes, absolutely. We have opened up a lot more opportunities for a lot more resources, working with different organizations, keeping up with the county has opened different like offices that are wonderful. And so we have make those connections just to be able to offer other resources to our residents, again, for what they need. Because sometimes we get a call, and it has nothing to do with crime prevention but a quality of life like concern, but we could be able to go ahead and redirect them to different
place.
Exactly. 100%. So we've been doing that as well.
I mean, part of expanding what CCW does as a whole has been this podcast, the blog posts that we do. We try and I know that we always say here that the biggest thing here is informing our residents. They need to know what's going on. They need to know things. A lot of people don't even know that these are services that the county provides free of charge a majority of the time.
Exactly. And thank you for mentioning that, because I remember that it all started one day with, I believe it was when Eddie was here, our former social media coordinator, and I said to him, it's really crazy to do a podcast. What do we have to do to like do a podcast, right? Because I really didn't know much. I listen to podcasts all the time. I'm like one of those like true crime, like listening to podcasts like all the time. I don't know why, but that keeps me sane somehow. But what I like was that we were in a time of the whole COVID pandemic, and I needed to know that we were doing our part to still keep our residents like informed. So it started with the what if and the how. and I'm sure we're still figuring it out, like
Yes.
ourselves, right? I could dream of the day that we have a podcast that hopefully maybe one day goes viral, and now everybody goes ahead and starts listening to this, because I do think that we put up a lot of useful information, and that's the goal, to keep our residents like informed. And to know about all the different resources. We partner a lot with Miami-Dade Police Department, because a lot of residents don't know of all the different bureaus and stuff like that. So we just want to keep the public informed. And then we have Alina used to work with us, and I think she's an excellent writer. So we went ahead and we reached out to her, because she had worked for so many years with our organization, and she's also a crime prevention practitioner, plus her background in journalism. And I said, hey, like, let's try to do like little blogs again that we could go ahead and keep our residents like
100%.
informed. That was also, thank you for mentioning that, that was something also that we did, and we did it again because I think the times call for it.
100%. We need to keep everybody informed as best as we can, and maybe we go viral, and that'd be great. But if we don't, even if only 50 people see our podcast,
right, that's okay. That's
50 more people that hadn't seen them before,
exactly.
And maybe they learned something that they didn't. I know our blog posts get pretty steady reach, like they steadily get viewed, and I always feel good because like we don't just post, like it's not, every post is not like get a neighborhood crime watch. On the contrary, we're always pushing any and every information, anything we could do. We had one on road rage. That was huge. Everybody,
I know that everybody went.
So you never know. I know our human trafficking podcast
did very well.
It did very well. So you never really know what, like you never really think that, oh, all these people are going to read about road rage, but you never know who connects with what, or what intrigues people to find out. So I'm glad that we do so, like it's such a wide spectrum that we cover.
Yes.
I always think that it's fantastic because, again, anything you want to know, we're trying to kind of put it out there at this point.
So you have worked with me for a very long time.
Yes.
And now you know what my motto is, right? Like, to me, it's like, we got to try.
Yep.
We got to put it out there. We got to see if it works. And if it doesn't work, that's fine. We're going to learn for it, but we have to try. 100%. And I think it's exactly what we're doing with all the different topics, with a podcast, with a blog. We just have to keep on trying. And in the efforts of keeping up with new times, trying to see what works, thank you for all the work you put into that. But we are launching a CCW app.
Yes.
And I know that you did a lot of work for that, but that was another thing of like, is this doable? If this like reachable? And let's go ahead and say a quick thank you now to our Board of County Commissioners and our Mayor, Levin Cava, which thankfully had increased our budget. And part of that increase in the budget is that we're able to roll up like an app, because you know that's not cheap. It's quite expensive. And again, thank you, because I know you work directly with the developers and you put a lot of work and effort like into that, but it's gonna have a lot of our resources. You'll be able to fill out like a request for service form there, but what's important about this app is like, right now we're laying down the foundation of the app,
right?
But we could always enhance and develop like further into be able to reach what those needs are, so that door, like, it's open. Yes, of course it will cost like more money, but we're trying to see what's gonna work
and what the people want.
And then I'm very excited that that's not something that it's just gonna, this is what we did. No, we could grow it, we could expand it, we could put different features that will make it a little bit more like effective. And I know that because you and I had this discussion, we eager to see what the future holds when it comes to like the app and what the possibilities are there with that.
Most definitely. I know being a nonprofit has its challenges, again, budget wise. We have to kind of work within what we have. And I think that it's going to be super. I mean, currently the app, again, like Vivian said, you can request our services. We also have our resources there. We have our event calendar, and hopefully soon enough we'll have all the events posted for like the entire county that you'll be able to look up and be like, oh, Saturday there's a food drive in the South District and maybe one in Midwest, and whichever area you're in, you can go and associate with that. We're trying to build something that is needed, just to keep everything together in one spot. especially when it comes to us, we think, again, anything crime prevention related, we kind of want to hit every topic. You'd have our blog posts instead of having to go to our website, like it would just be in the app.
I
Our
believe the
podcast as
podcast
well.
too. Mm-hmm.
All of our social media actually is technically
So
attached
it's
to
just
this
to
app.
have like everything in this one place.
Right.
Like our residents could just download like the app, and everything that has to do with our organization, it will be in one place. No, that doesn't mean we're shutting down the website or anything else. It's just that we make it more accessible to just have everything. You open the app and just have everything there.
Yeah.
And that was one of the goals that we had in going ahead and developing this app.
Yeah, 100%. The app and the website actually work very well hand in hand the way we've been building it out. So we're super excited about that. A program that not many people know that we offer that is also free. Everything we offer is free, but I always have to say this because everybody's always like, how much is it? Free.
Gratis. Gratuito.
000. Business Watch. What is that?
Business Watch, what is that? It works very similar to a Crime Watch meeting, if we recall what I said about that. Let's say that we're in a shopping strip, right? What we do is that we invite all the businesses, not just the owners, but their employees, to attend a meeting with us. And then what I encourage my coordinators to do is to go ahead and go and do like a walkthrough through the different businesses, just so that they know what suggestions or recommendations to make during the meeting themselves. I myself used to be I did not. Let me correct that. I did not own the business. My mom owned a business once upon a time, and I worked very much with her on that. And I was guilty of everything that we told our businesses not to do. But what we do is that we meet with them, the same process. An officer goes with us. They're going to go over all the different crimes like in that area, again, to open your eyes and to make you aware of what's going on, so that then you make adjustments for the safety of your business and your employees. Super important.
Definitely.
That, yeah, you want to keep your business safe, but you also have to keep in mind your employees. So we go over that, and it works the same way. Right? We have a phone chain. We encourage for them to keep an eye for one another.
Right.
Now, what we're trying to roll out, that's going to be a little bit different. And hold me accountable for that one, because we really need to work on that very soon, is that we haven't just the same way that we have the residential signs. We want to make signs for them to go ahead and post within the parking perimeters of the different businesses, right? And we also wanna for the neighborhood watch, we also have window decals. But we wanna go ahead and try to develop a window decal to put by the door. That is gonna say no cash is left behind, because that is something that we always tell our businesses. And so there's many different things that we cover in that meeting. One of those is the procedure for removing the cash from the businesses and all that safety stuff.
During our Business Watch podcast that I did with Sergeant Bermudez, we covered a lot of this. And I know I actually had spoken briefly about the way Walgreens work. My husband has worked with Walgreens for many years, 16 years, I think. And I always found it interesting that they have like this chain. As if anyone's noticed, there's like a Walgreens every block. So, and I mentioned this at that podcast, but similar to, just to go back a little bit about how the phone chain would work, would be how Walgreens works. And I think most like even CVS probably has the similar way of working, which is like if they see that somebody has been doing, gift card fraud. They were money laundering through gift cards. So they one Walgreens called like 3 Walgreens down, and they had already hit them. They were literally going every Walgreens down US 1 essentially and hitting them. They actually got caught because of the fact that Walgreens had been calling the Walgreens, the next Walgreens, the next one. They got caught. Like, I think they luckily were only able to hit 4 Walgreens up, and like they were able to catch the people who did it. Phone chains would work similarly. If somebody tries to do something or something happens, ideally you have your alarm.
And share your security video too 100%. with the business next to you or the one further down, right? And again, it's keeping an eye out for one another. But one of our my particular pet peeve that I always say to like our businesses is like, and I remember this because again from when my mom had her businesses, a lot of times you have different companies coming and offering you to put like decals on the window
Mm-hmm.
promoting a specific product that they're selling or that you currently could sell at your business. And so and we see that with a lot of convenience stores, let's be
Gas
honest, and
stations.
gas stations. So we see all that, whether it's for beer, cigarettes, whatever the case might be. Calling cards used to be like a thing
Mm-hmm.
too. I know WhatsApp, it's like changing the way we do a lot of things. But and you get a little percentage, not much, but there's a purpose why those businesses agree to put it up in the first place.
Right.
And what that does is that it blocks visibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean it. Not only are you not fully capable to see outside your parking lot and what's going on, and if there's a suspicious person outside the business when you're locking up at night, but it also blocks people to be able to see in. Let's say that a crime is occurring like inside your business, and normally business are like on a street, you know, the cars passing by cannot see what's going on in your business and possibly call to get you the help
100%.
that you needed.
Right.
So that's one of the things that we say, yes, you might be getting a little money this way, but what's more important
Mm-hmm.
is that the overall safety of your business and your employee versus, and so we make suggestions and recommendations. It's up to the business to, do what they're gonna do. But that's also one of the services that we provide.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we're able to come up with a sign and even like a decal, because that was a request actually from a business that we
Mm-hmm.
had that was like, do you have a decal that says no money left in store after hours? And it was a great
Yeah, and
idea.
again, like
And
we're evolving, and that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we were doing. Um, I think that in the past 2 years that um I took over again, I always give credit to all of you and my team, is that we're not afraid of change. We constantly want to be involving. We want to be listening to our residents. We want to be listening to like what's working, and we don't want to like be close-minded and say this is how like it is. Mind you, we have a criteria for crime watch meetings, and that's the criteria, and that's how we're going to do it. We have a protocol,
right.
right? Our protocol is we do block by block.
Mm-hmm.
Can we make an exception one day because something drastic happened in a neighborhood that is better to discuss it with more people? Sure, but we do it block by block with a shared person and with a block captain.
Well,
We don't change that.
100%.
But
It wouldn't make sense if we did it every, like, let's say one block captain for every 5 blocks. I don't live on your block.
therefore I don't
I don't
see
see
what's
what's
going
going
on.
on.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
imagine if like I'm getting notices for 3 blocks down, I'm gonna start ignoring those notices because how does it affect me? It wasn't my block.
Exactly the point, which is why there's certain things that we are very certain our ways because we know that's what works, but not to say that we're not gonna listen.
100%. I know that we have expanded this last year. We have added 2 new programs.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I am too. One of the programs is Rad Kids, which we'll go over at a later podcast. But one of the programs that I'm personally very fond of is Rad Women.
Yes.
We want to kind of have a more in-depth podcast on how we have implemented Rad Women with our
And we will.
within our organization. But what is Rad Women, kind of briefly, to kind of
So okay, RAD woman. RAD stands for Rape Aggression Defense.
right.
What we have chosen to do for the most part is a 3-day class, from 6 to 10 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we have offered a 4-day class, 6 to 9, but for the most part, we're doing the 3-day class.
Right now we have a class down south. Then we're coming back up to Doral. Then we're gonna be back down south again in Kendall. Well, not down south in Kendall. And then we're gonna go to North Bay Village. We're kind of going throughout the county wherever there's a need. So if anyone's interested in taking a woman self-defense class, email us rad@citizenscrimewatch.org. If you have daughters, we do ask that they have to be at least 14 and they have to be attend the class with the parent or guardian, and there is a parent consent form.
My dream, as you and I are both moms, and safety is our mainly priority for our kids. But my dream is if we could have all our girls in high school. Again, normally you're already 14 around like freshman year or not. But
Yeah.
let's focus on our senior girls. Like if we could have our senior girls, and I know it's a big take because the staffing is like quite of not there. But again, my dream, I'm gonna dream big, is if we could take our senior girls from our schools or for our community to take this class and to be able to have this under their belt as they go on the new journey to go away for college for the first time, to be away from mom and dad for the first time, to be like on a dorm, to like having roommates, to be like exposed to a world where now they're like free to explore, right? It doesn't make them better or not, like it's just like what we do with age, that they could have this and to take this away with them. And for us to know that we put that little grain in there, that little grain of sand, like to just know that we sending our girls off to like college with something that they could fall back on when it comes to the safety. That's my dream.
I think the RAD is a great addition to what we do because we are just trying to expand in general. I know we hope to have a future where we can help victims themselves out, hopefully someday.
And thank you for saying that, because coming up in July, 2 members of the team is going to a training to be a victim services practitioner. That if we ever if we ever are in a situation or like in one of our Rat Women's classes and it comes the need that they need certain support, we will be able to offer that.
Yeah, I think that it's fantastic, everything we're doing. And I'm just so proud to be part of this organization and everything we're doing. I've always been very loyal to this place, but it's just amazing how we've been able to grow.
Yes.
And we'll continue to grow. Even though it's just 6 of us.
We'll
keep chugging along.
Small but
small but mighty.
And I call you girls my phoenixes. I'm like, you guys are rising from the ashes and you guys are flying. And I think, listen, I guess I am gonna call myself a good leader. Is I think that what makes you a good leader is like when you could sit back and just let your team do and perform and do well and feel the joy in their accomplishment and what they're doing for the organization.
Yeah.
And so I always try to compliment like you guys, but so many often I'm like, oh my God, you guys are my phoenixes, because I push you guys so much and I ask so much of you and we like stretch things, but you guys come and you guys do and you guys deliver. So thank you.
No, of course. That comes with the passion. That comes with the wanting to do this.
Exactly. But I've been beyond blessed with the team that we have, and we have done a lot, and I hope to continue to do more.
I agree. So that's been it for this podcast. I hope that this has inspired you guys, sparked some interest. You want to check out our other podcasts where we go more into details on different safety topics. You can watch our human trafficking one. You can see the original one where we first originally introduced CCW and all we do. And we hope to catch you on the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.